Europe is running short on electricity. A perfect storm of surging demand and short supply means energy prices are rising across the sector, from natural gas to renewables. Governments are having to act to ensure a power shortage doesn't hurt their economic recoveries.
Can Europe keep the lights on? The continent is facing an energy crisis. Prices for many fuels have soared to new records in recent weeks. Businesses and households' power bills are rising too. Ireland is warned of possible blackouts. Energy prices have already been high on Europeans' minds after Brussels announced its Green Deal to transition away from fossil fuels in July. Spain took one of the most drastic steps this week to rein in prices, saying it would take back almost €3 billion in profits from energy companies. We are going to take away those extraordinary profits that the energy companies are making. They can afford it, and we are going to redirect them to consumers to cap the gas bill in the face of the foreseeable increase in the price of gas in the coming months. And we are also going to reduce the electric bill. And it's not just Spain. All across Europe, prices have climbed to new records. Electricity prices rose more than 8% in the 12 months through July, while natural gas prices rose 13% and diesel 20%. Even prices for coal, which is being phased out in many European countries, are on the rise. Natural gas shortages are particularly worrying. Gas producers haven't kept up with the bounce back in demand from pandemic lows. Europe is struggling. Major suppliers like Russia have slowed shipments. European gas stockpiles are now at their lowest levels in years, at a time when demand will jump during the cold winter months. And in the North Sea, winds have stopped blowing. Thousands of wind turbines there are producing drastically less energy. In Germany, wind power accounted for just over a fifth of Germany's electricity supply during the first half of this year. A year ago, wind made up 29% of the energy mix. Conventional energy sources, dirtier ones like coal, are filling that gap. The sudden reversal away from wind back to fossil fuels illustrates the difficulty of Europe's green transition. Wind is supposed to play a major role, but even Brussels can't control the weather.
Well, let's get more on Europe's energy problems with Georg Zachman. He's a senior fellow at the economics think tank Bruegel, specialising in energy and climate change. Thanks for joining us on DW Business. There seems to be shortages across so many energy sources. Why are so many problems happening at once?
Yeah, good morning, Rob. Well, I would argue that the surge in prices is indeed due to an overlap of a couple of factors, each of which in its own right might not have such a big effect. And they are very different effects. So I think it would be good to kind of unpick them individually. So on the one hand, we have this uncertainty on gas supplies, and there is a big issue currently with gas supplies from Russia. They have been significantly lower than in the last years. And people are claiming that that is partly due to the construction of Nord Stream 2 and the due certification of the pipeline. And therefore, Russia is essentially kind of trying to keep more gas in its own storage, what we are observing right now, instead of sending it over in order to have some leverage in the negotiations on the certification. Right. Another issue is that the international gas markets, the liquefied natural gas supplies are running low to Europe at the moment. There's high demand in Asia, there's low supplies in the US and low exports, issues in other parts of the world, like in Peru, for example. So this results in seasonably low or very low stockpiles of natural gas on the European continent. And therefore, I think markets are working relatively well by indicating we need to have high prices now in order to keep enough gas in storages for the winter.
Yeah, there's also this problem with there not being enough wind in the North Sea to provide extra power for renewables. We've got such a confluence of problems. Is this a unique situation or something that could happen again?
No, I think there are even more factors out there. You mentioned the low wind supplies. The colleagues mentioned the high carbon prices that we are seeing. We have had a significant recovery of demand, thankfully, after the COVID crisis, and also central bank action might have led to some general energy price inflation, also in oil and coal, as the colleagues mentioned before. So I would argue that prices will at some point start to normalize again, because those issues that I mentioned are mainly transitory shocks. So the wind will come back, the recovery will potentially slow down, the gas supply issues will be resolved. And moreover, I think consumers and producers will somehow react to high prices. I mean, that's also the whole idea of having high prices, that producers find new ways to bring energy to Europe and to reduce, and consumers have an incentive to reduce demand.
All right. Georg Zachman, thanks a lot for staying across that for us. That's Georg Zachman from Bruegel.